Welcome back to the channel and a new video on the Range Rover Evoque. Guys, I know we left that last one on a bit of a bombshell, but we're back on it now. Aiden is here and he's got to get this, basically the key module out the back. Chris is in there getting it out, and then he needs to work on it on the bench because it's obviously locked to the car key that's been programmed to the car. I'm not going to give you all the technical jargon on it because I don't know. Looks like, can we step over here a bit? Aiden,
no
away
worries.
from that alarm.
Yeah, no worries.
Does that all look alright?
It looks like it's been soldered on before. These are the points where we read this MCU.
Right.
So that point, that point, that point, and that one.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Before. Yeah. Because you can also see the wires left on the.
Yes. Can
I
zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Yeah.
So
dear.
So if you look right there.
Yeah.
You can see there's still solder points remaining on the board. Which means it's definitely been worked on before.
Something you can handle?
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Right,
yeah, sure.
Well, I'm going to cut this short for a minute because that alarm's going to drive everyone crazy in the background. But let's get it in your van and let you do your thing. Do you want to move your van over here so I can record you a bit?
Yeah, no worries,
That's
mate.
going to keep going off.
Yeah, no worries, sure, mate.
I'll get some brownie points in this bit, giving you a microphone. The amount of times I got told off in that last video, well, we can't hear him. I just didn't think, to be honest.
They're a little swell today, Rob. We've got the mics on and everything.
I know you can't give away all your trade secrets, and I genuinely don't want you to. I don't want to ask too much of you, but I mean, can you tell us what tools you're using or anything?
So, this here is something called like an EEPROM programmer,
right? Which
reads information from chips, etc. So, in the KVM, keyless vehicle module, you've got an MS912 MCU. So all the data on this car is stored in this chip here.
Oh, really?
So we need to solder some wires to be able to read the information from the MCU. And then once we obtain the information, we need a programmer to program the transponder. And then it will give us a new file back, which will write back to this. And then we'll have two keys married up to the car, and then you just plug everything back on and it should start working straight away.
Oh, mate,
fingers crossed, if nothing's wrong, everything should be fine. And
I mean, the engine's an unknown to us. They might have blown it up and parked it up. We just don't know.
This is the thing, we don't really know until we obviously crack on, mate.
And does that mean that the original keys will no longer work?
When you load the file onto the programmer,
you've
got an option to disable any of the old keys.
Which is useful,
exactly.
Very useful.
So when we open the file, mate, we'll see everything.
Brilliant.
The VIN number of the car, how many keys is programmed to it, etc.
Yep.
And we'll see how many keys there is on the car, etc. And go from there.
Cool. New keys are genuine Land Rover.
Yeah.
You sure you don't mind me doing this?
Nah, mate. The thing is where they've soldered onto the board before and they've left the wires on. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. So if it's unlocked, we wouldn't need to remove any of the components from the board.
Right.
If it is locked, then we're gonna have to take this piece and that piece off the board and then be able to read it. So the good thing is when you launch the software and you select the correct variant what you're working on, it will come up with the wiring diagram. So normally it's a secured. We're gonna first try to read it as an unlocked or an unsecured KVM because obviously someone's worked on it before. So if you scroll in, as you can see, there's a picture of the board that we're on.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the points to read is right there. So we've got a VCC, we've got a reset, we've got a ground, and we've got a background pin. So how it works is, these points are all on the MCU itself. So on the MCU, if you look at the data sheet of the MCU, which is right here, as you can see. So this is the MCU, right? It's an MS9112 family. So as you can see, so it's a 112 pin 112 legs basically on this MCU. So pin 14 is ground, pin 23 is background, pin 42 is reset, and then we should have a VCC, which is right here, which is pin 107. So the engineers of the tool, what they've done is, what we normally use is we get a multimeter and put it onto continuity.
Yes.
And we take the legs and then we start searching around the board for somewhere else where that point is also on, because there's still continuity going through. Obviously, when you buy decent tools and etc., the manufacturer of the tool will already work that all out for you and give it to you. But there is certain boards on certain cars like Maseratis and Fiats and so on and so forth, where they haven't developed it. They've just given you the data sheet of the MCU and told you you need VCC ground, background, and whatever it may be. Yeah. And then they obviously show you there's pin 1, so that's pin 1, and then it goes around in circles. So what you do is you just grab a multimeter and put them onto the pin and then just start testing around the board. So
is that because it's easier to solder
exactly
there than
trying to solder?
You'd have a real problem
yes,
getting on
so
one of them
basically
legs.
if worse comes to worse, where sometimes there's sandwich motherboards where the points are in between the sandwich, so the only other way is to lift this whole MCU off and put them onto adapters and then read it directly off the board, whereby obviously fortunately now we've got points where we can solder on and read without removing this MCU. But in worst comes to worst way, where we don't have another option, then we have to take the MCU off and read it directly. But yeah, we can crack on.
Mind your way.
I just need to get some wires.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. So,
Interesting stuff, Rob.
Yeah,
I'll show you what I was talking about. So if we take it off, we've got boards where it clips into, and then you just directly put them on the programmer and read it directly off the programmer. So there is obviously ways around things.
You've got a tool for every scenario.
Yeah, mate. You have to. If you want to be good at your job, you've got to try to have everything that you've got ready to do what you're supposed to. V1, there you go. That's the cable we're looking for. So if you come down, Rob. So here we've got the pin out and we've got the cable. So obviously the tool tells you to use V1 cable, which if you scroll in,
I can see that.
It says V1, so that's a V1 cable. Pretty much I've done so many of them, I know it off by heart, but it's always good to refresh your memory.
I'm going to let you do that. I mean, we've seen wires soldered before, and I don't want to
no worries,
lean
mate.
over the top here. So 30 seconds of soldering there. Aiden's a bit devastated that I stopped while he was soldering, showing off his skills. He said, everyone, I think I took 30 minutes there. So he's now plugged our KVM into it.
If you come down here, so every MCU has got something called a mask, right? So if we look at here, we've got 3 masks. We've got 0M12S, 3M25J, and we've got 2M25J, right? When we read the ID of the MCU, which will give us the mask set, as you can see, if you look down here, operation success, and the ID of the chip is C483, which we've got a match here, which means that the mask on this MCU is 0M12S. Okay, so if the KVM is not secured, then if we try to read it now, it should read it. So if you look here now, it says the chip is crypt. The operation needs to decrypt, which means that the MCU is secured. Right. So we have to remove them components and first of all crack the security. And then once we crack the security, we can read and write to this MCU with no issues. So we'll just have to...
I was worried that this was the thieves' keyless vehicle module.
The only way we can tell whether this RFA or the KVM belongs to this car is once we read the D-flash data and the EEPROM data and we load it up onto VVDI2, onto our programmer.
Chassis number.
Then it will come up with the chassis number. Also, another thing is, once you read the information, we don't even need the programmer because the chassis number is visible in the memory that we're going to read, in the file that we read.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's FFF now, it's not going to read anything, but if you sort of scroll down, this is like all where the information is stored. Obviously at the moment it's blank because he hasn't read anything, but if you scroll about 70% through the dump, you should see the VIN number there in clear text to indicate what it is. And
so we'll let you get them
we'll just get
unsoldered.
them, we'll just take them components off and we'll
work on magic.
Work on magic.
Work
exactly.
your magic, rather. Yeah. Confined space, so we shouldn't need them mics anyway.
No worries.
So you've read the chip?
No, we're reading the chip now. So we've just cracked the encryption on the chip, so nice reading.
Where am I looking on this screen?
Just look on here, because that's where the data will be stored. So if you scroll halfway through down, you should see the part number of the KVM, which is FK72. It's an AF one, right?
Yeah.
And if we scroll down a little bit more, if we keep scrolling, you can see the VIN number here.
What's the last 6 on there?
The last 6 is H149656.
So that's the correct KVM out of that car?
Yeah.
Because that's the VIN number?
Yeah. And the VIN is repeated twice in the dump, if you see. So it's there, and it's there as well. So the VIN number is twice. So we'll save that now. If we save that as Rob D-Flash, because that's the D-Flash partition of the chip. So the chip is made out of 4 partitions. So you got D-Flash, EEPROM, P-Flash, and a POF. And now, to burn the keys, we need the D-Flash and the EEPROM partition of the MCU. So if we read that now also, and we hit save, and we save that as Rob EEPROM. Okay. Now if we disconnect that and we reconnect our VVDI, we should now be able to make a key from this file, EEPROM. Okay, you've got 3 keys in the car. 2 was probably from the factory, and 1 was probably when it was stolen and they added the key on. So if we want to erase, erase and erase, so as you can see, you've got the option to erase it, and then we have to put the key there. And if we select, so if we save the file now, erase key will blank the key position in the EEPROM dump. Do you want to continue? Yes. Okay, so now it saved a new file here, Rob D Flash erase, where it's erased the key. So if we now load them files, you see it's got erase on there, as you can see, Rob, right? So if we load the D Flash and we load your EEPROM, as you can see, you've got 0 keys. It's all blanked off now.
Yeah.
So if we prepare key 1 and make it a dealer key, it's going to start to make a key. So prepare dealer key success, write the new dump file to the RFA, and the car will start. So if we look now on the desktop, we've got 2 files here now, which is Rob erase and then key 1, which is the key 1 which we've wrote, which is a D Flash. And if we load the RFA and we press Rob key 1, as you can see, there's 1 key. And as you can see, there's an ID. So every key will carry its own ID, Rob. I'll show you now. So if we...
Because Chris is just coming, I do want to quickly tell him there was 3 keys on the system.
Was there?
These 3 keys,
They only come with 2.
The only 2 come with 2.
So the thieves have programmed one key to that car.
Gotcha.
So if you look now, it's a high-tag Pro chip, which is an ID 49, and as you can see, the ID is 42560D38. And if you look on the dump now, 42560D38. This is the ID. Of course, you can't just write the ID onto the dump and expect it to start, because it won't, because there's a synchronization code also, which needs to be put into the file.
Okay.
Because every time you start the car, there's obviously a rolling code.
Yeah.
So the key needs to also know the synchronization.
Okay.
So we've prepared 1 key now. We'll prepare the second, and it's the same procedure, basically. Yeah, cool.
So I'll cut there.
Yeah,
that's
cut
2
there.
keys programmed.
And yeah, it's all done now.
But now you're doing some work on the KVM.
Yeah, so basically when we generate a new transponder, it gives us a new file which we now have to write back to the KVM, so both the keys can be initialized. So as you can see, it's writing now, and operation success. If we're going to the EEPROM now, and we go Rob EEPROM, so key 2, so there's 2 keys now. Continue to write, yes. That's it, man.
So we're going to plug that back into the car.
Yeah, we've got to put them components back on, which we removed.
Oh, yeah.
And then after that, we can plug it in and it should start up now, mate.
I'm getting excited.
So am I, mate.
We'll let you get them on.
Cheers,
a moment of truth, but unfortunately, the alarm is going to go off again. It's going to be noisy. So Chris is going to jump in the back, plug that in. The battery's on. You've got the keys.
Yeah.
We're good to, oh no, the battery's off. Go on. You plug that in.
Yeah,
and
plug
you
that
get
in.
ready.
Yeah, you can plug that in. If you wait actually, Rob,
Yeah.
and let him plug that in,
Yeah.
on, and we just connect it and I press the unlock button, it should turn off.
Oh,
which
yeah,
will save
yeah.
some.
And the
noise
wing
on
mirrors
the-
are fold out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I actually want to capture that.
Yeah. You want me to capture
I'm going to
it for
get you to hold the camera
No
and I'll put the
worries.
battery on. Let us know when you're in, Johnny. All plugged in.
There you go.
Yes.
That's it. It's all opened up. You want to carry on, Rob?
Yeah. The mirrors are out and he unlocked it, so
You know what the mileage is, Rob?
52,000, yeah.
2977. All right, we'll turn ignition on first.
Oh yeah, ignition's on. Sat nav's all come on.
You want to go ahead?
Yeah. Did I buy a lemon?
There you go,
Here you
mate.
are.
Sounds all right to me.
Good, mate. It's all good.
Well done. Well
all
done.
good.
Yeah, top work.
That does actually sound
You want me to leave it running,
sounds nice for one of them.
Yeah,
Leave it running,
Rob?
mate. Yeah.
It's got oil, everything.
I'll
yeah?
check the oil,
Yeah.
check the water.
And mate, you know what? There's not even a single warning light on it, mate.
No.
It
no
does.
warning lights.
It does sound a little bit chuffy, but
Yeah.
do you know what
But
that is?
it's-
No, you've removed that air duct
I have,
from the air
yes.
filter.
Right, yeah. Also, it's been sitting around
It
as
has,
well, you
yes.
know, so...
That's good.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, mate, it's all done. Both the keys.
Let's chuck that on there. That.
Another success.
Yeah, all
Oh,
done, mate.
You're brilliant,
That's
Aiden.
Yeah.
That's it
thank
there.
you.
Good.
Thank you.
That's it there, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when that goes back on, that
Yeah,
should.
Quieting it back down.
Hear how much quiet that is with that
Yeah.
on.
Thing is, I think we're in the situation.
We
now-
can't hear because you ain't got a mic.
No,
Sorry, mate.
I think we're in the situation now, aren't we? We spoke about this in the previous video about the risk,
Yeah.
but we genuinely probably wouldn't buy one of these now unless we had the top man on the job.
Aiden, thank you
No
again.
worries,
Yeah,
mate. Anytime.
yeah.
No worries. Thank you.
What I am just going to quickly put in now, I've put it in previous. Oh, I haven't got a mic.
Sorry, mate.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
What I am going to put in there that we have put in previous videos is, please bear in mind, Aiden is a business and he just like us, he just doesn't get time. And I know quite a few people are ringing you up asking for advice, and he just hasn't got time for that. But if you're in the London area and you genuinely need a key, he can hook you up. And
Yeah,
if he
no
can't
worries.
do it, he knows someone that
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like the motorbike,
Yeah.
Ducati keys.
Yeah.
You got
know.
sorted for
Yeah,
me,
'cause-
didn't you?
Yeah.
Right, I guess we're gonna get
Yeah.
Aiden paid. We're gonna get the number plates on this. I'm taking test drive. I'm taking it for an MOT. Yeah, definitely. Oh, the boot. We ain't had the boot open yet.
Wait. It's not gonna because the car's running. Oh no. Yeah. Pull it up.
What's it? Not electric?
Maybe. Yeah. It is. It's because
No,
you
it's
know.
not. It
Is
hasn't
it
got the big. No, it hasn't got the big
it's not.
rams
Yeah,
on it.
you're right. It's not. Yeah.
Have we got anything missing in there?
The panel's not there, is it?
No.
No, that panel is not there.
That back together, that box first.
This normally has a
Yeah.
bracket.
Careful, that's.
Yeah.
I'll stick that in there in a minute. That's
that
all
should
right.
have a bracket normally to bolt on, and you'll have a few 10 mils.
Mate, if 2 keys and a couple of brackets is all we
Yeah,
got to buy for
yeah,
this car,
please.
I'm made up.
Yeah, well made up, mate. And another thing is, they haven't broken your GPS
They have.
cable.
Chris fixed it.
Oh, Chris
Yeah,
fixed
yeah.
it, right? Wicked.
Yeah.
Soldered a
Wicked,
new
man.
one on. Yeah.
Wicked, man. Wicked. Because they always cut them.
That's right.
Yeah, they
cut
always
the blue
cut.
one.
Yeah, they.
cut the blue,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
we've put a white one back
Yeah,
on it.
wicked, man. Yeah.
They ripped the purple one out.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah,
now.
nice.
Well,
Yeah.
Well
does
good,
it
mate.
drive? I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's
it,
the next thing.
I'm sure it will drive
Yeah.
fine. Mate,
Yeah. No
thank
worries.
you again.
No
Cheers,
worries,
bud.
man. Thank
Right,
you.
mate. Will it drive? Can you hear that heat shield?
Yeah.
That's probably forklift related, that is.
Well,
Hear it rattling? You
it's
rev
not
it?
been Copart, but it has been recovery agent, so you
Yeah.
don't know, do you? Shall I try it up to the?
Why not? Don't forget though, your brace is not across the
No.
front. I don't think that'll affect
No,
it, but
we're not going off road, are we?
yeah, it clears. So it's definitely heat shield.
Yeah, it clears when you put the clutch down.
Yeah, heat shield. Do you know what?
I don't know.
I haven't even looked if this is 4-wheel drive. One sec. No, it's not. Well, it ain't a noisy diff because it's front wheel drive only.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's when you pick the revs up, it starts doing
Heat
that.
shield or the cat's knackered.
Brakes work.
Brakes are noisy. Oh, so made up that it's a runner, and obviously there's nothing wrong with the engine because I'm not just risking my money, I'm risking Chris's money. It's our business, and I took a chance on that. We took a chance on it, and it's paid off. And the less things that's wrong with it is the more we're going to earn out of it.
Yeah.
The brakes are even cleaning up nice, mate.
Yes. Nice.
Bring it in and we'll tidy everything up, fit it up, and then I
Yeah.
guess get some plates on it and get it out for a proper drive. But the MOT, it's got such a lovely MOT history where it all got done on the correct month every year.
Right.
And unfortunately now, it's gone about 2 weeks over. It only run out 2 weeks
It's
ago.
not the end of the world, is it?
No.
Nice heated seat as well.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, mate, bring her in. Well, that rattle's horrible. I'm sure it's nothing serious. Guys, tell me, you know the blue badge on the back, anyone that does know, does that mean it's two-wheel drive? Because I know myself and Claire have had 2 of these, they never had a blue badge on them. I think one of them may have even been red. Anyway, let's get this back together.
I've got my foot on the brake, Rob.
And
the parking brake is on as well.
Yeah.
So
give it a little rev to... That's horrible, isn't it? Right, you ready?
Yep.
Just hold off a sec. That is quite rattly. Try that.
That's it.
It's a heat shield.
Rightio.
That's with me holding it. I'll take my hand off. Try it now.
Yeah. Do you want to show it, Rob?
It's just a heat shield.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, so what I was holding... Oh, it's a bit hard to have this camera. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Right, give it a little rev. Now. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It has it doesn't look bad, but it's probably where some forks have clipped it, probably moved it, and we'll have to undo the nuts, you know, where they elongate, put a set of washers on it, and then put the nuts back in. Sorry, nuts, the bolts that hold it in. Let's get it back together, mate. Straight in the back of it here, repairing that panel, clipping it all back in. Fortunately, nothing was broke, so that all went in nice. Chris is concentrating on clearing out the boot and the passenger side there, putting all that KVM back in where it should be, putting the brace back on, bolting the battery down, tightening up the terminals, clean all that chalk off the window, and of course line up, clean up the front bumper and fit that number plate. Straight round to the rear, same again on the back one, and I think it's ready to go for MOT. Up on the ramp now, and Chris said it looks like it's been squashed. Yeah,
we was expecting it to be corroded, wasn't we?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just a bit of forklift damage, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're going to go through this hole and through there and just try and straighten it out a little. Oh yeah, that's doing it.
I suppose
There's a stone in there.
there is something in there, isn't there?
Yeah. Should we have it off?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, aren't we?
That's the idea from Chris. He straightened out that bit of metal and then put the airline in there and blew out a stone. And I've brought it straight over for an MOT. You can see it on the ramp there. So fingers crossed that all goes well. It does drive very, very nicely, but the steering wheel is slightly left hand down, and that is irritating on any car, I think. So I think as long as we go all right here, straight over and get it tracked up. MOT went absolutely fine, not one advisory, and he said it was a lovely car. And do you know what, just driving it there, I kind of knew that. So 4-wheel balance and then round, get the tracking done, and then I think we'll get it down and have a nice valet done on it. It is very, very grubby inside. You can probably just The seats are quite grubby and messy, so be nice to get them done, and there's all like tobacco in it as well. Always the exciting part, and we know we are at the end. When you see us time-lapsing at the car wash, I was shocked how nice this car was coming up, that I zoomed in a little bit there, and I think you'll all agree a little bit further in the video, it really does look cracking. Whoever previously owned that, they actually really looked after this car. It is such a lovely car. Look how nice it cleaned up with just a wash. There's a couple of very minimal little scratches, but I know that I can get them out. I am going to give it a hand polish once we get it inside, actually, because I've still got to take this inside and actually do a service. I've bought the kit: oil filter, diesel filter, pollen filter, air filter, and of course new oil. I am going to do that today, actually, before this one goes up for sale. It has got, I previously mentioned in the first video, it's got a little ding in it there, but I believe, yeah, it's actually coming off now. Quite a lot of the scratch will actually come out of that little tiny dent there, and of course it's got a couple of other little tiny scratches on it, but again, I know that most of them are going to polish out. It really has cleaned up well. I managed to buy the cage off eBay for silly cheap money, like £16, and then the cover that actually goes over here I bought last night off of eBay as well, so just got to wait for those to arrive. I have done 100 miles in this car already, believe it or not, just taking it for MOT and valet. Where else have I taken it? For tracking. But look how nice that car come up. You would have seen as well, I did get them to blow off under the bonnet. Now that wasn't a proper jet off under the bonnet, it was just a bit of chemical round the edges and blow the dust off, like all round the scuttle and all round the front panel here. I don't go to town jet washing the engine, as we're not interested in doing that. And we've also got that little popper that's missing as well. We need to chuck that in when it's on the ramp for service. But drop it in the comments. Definitely worth doing, wasn't it? Let's have a look inside. All come up very nice, didn't it? Yeah, very nice. I reckon that seat could do with a little bit more of a clean, but overall we're over the moon with it. So there's no point me time-lapsing me doing a service on it. I'm going to take it in and get that done, but let's crunch the numbers, what there is of it, because it's very small. So a lovely quick turnaround on this car. 2 videos, the one when we bought it and now the one when we're selling it. So I've just done the numbers, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit here. But what I did do was jazzed it up a bit to make it interesting, just really for transparency, so everyone knows what you're paying when you buy a car out of Copart. So I told you what we was going to bid on that car. We actually won it for £5,000 and they let us have it. Buyer's fee on top of that, £509 for the privilege of winning that car. And then you got your internet bid fee. I've no idea what that's for, but that's another £65. Then you got your lot retrieval. So that's the forklift picking it up and bringing it out. That's another £40. They've definitely got it sewn up, Copart, haven't they? VAT on the charges, £122.80. So that brings that £5,000 car up to £5,736.80. That's a lot of fees, £736, but still a cheap car. Collection, £100. Keyblade from the dealer with all the VAT on it, £57.60. Aiden, of course, really did look after us. He said it's normally quite a lot more, £300, and that was 2 new keys programmed into the car. MOT was £50. Tracking was £60. That was 4-wheel balance and track, and of course, again, it's a bit dearer than that, but they look after us. And it needed very minimal tweaking on the 2 passenger side wheels on that car. Obviously bounced up a couple of curbs outside the skull. I'll say no more. Valet, £25. The cage that holds the fuse boxes was actually on back order. We rang the dealer and they had no date for it. I asked him for the part number. He gave it to me. I put it in eBay and there was one available, brand new, for 16 quid. So we bought that. The little cover, again, that goes over the top of the fuse box was £30. Service kit, £126. The number plates were £20. Total, £6,521 and 40p. Where are you going to buy one of them for that money? We're going to ask, now, the estimated retail on that car was 15,100 and something. And I've flicked through eBay and really they are all around between 14 and 16 grand, depending on the mileage. But the one that's at 14,000, a free owner car, done 89,000 miles. That car's done 53,000. It is completely unrecorded. It will never go on unless, of course, it's in an accident. And we are going to sell it well under at £12,000. I think that's a bargain, that car. And it's turned out real well for us because we're going to do really well out of it with a pre-tax profit of £5,478.60p. Now that was a gamble. Like Chris said earlier in the first video, they're all a gamble. You never know what you're buying. And we went a little bit out of our comfort zone with that one. And this time, and I'll say this time, it paid off. That car is going to be on Instagram for sale, probably in another week's time. We just want to I've got to get it in here, got to do all the filters, get the little cover in, get that fitted, just make sure it's 100%. And then of course, I'll put it on Instagram for sale. And if one of you guys do want to buy it, of course, you'll have to email me as soon as you see that post come out at sales@gmail.com. Same email if you want to sell us your vehicle, you want to offer us your vehicle, or if it's just been smashed up, you always get first shout from the insurance company. So that is going to be the end of today's video and the series on the Range Rover Evoque. As usual, we do hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, we'd appreciate that thumbs up. Drop your comments in the comments section down below. Again, we've both got Instagram, Salvage Rebuilds Chris. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.